We're here with VMblog at VeeamON 2022 in Las Vegas, and I'm speaking with Anand and Matthew. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening here at VeeamON and some of the stuff from the keynote, the growth, and obviously you two are both new, coming from Ring Central, so how's that transition been for you guys?
Hey, first, glad to be here. The only thing I'd tell you is 4 months in, I don't know if I can call myself new anymore. Excited to be here at VeeamON. This is my first VeeamON. We have 1,500 people here. We had, this is our first take at a hybrid event. Given that we have to create the right levels of equity, no matter where people participate from. We had, 35,000 plus people signed up and joining us virtually for VeeamON. So it was pretty exciting for us here today. We started off today and in the keynote, I shared a few concepts of, one, the explosion in data, which is not a surprise. The pandemic has essentially accelerated the explosion of data, both from a collaboration standpoint, all of us using collaboration tools, video, conversations, and working remotely, but also in compute infrastructure and usage. And one of the key things we talked about is how critical it is to make sure that people have an effective data protection strategy in place because of this exploding data which you have out there. And it's manifested probably predominantly in also a similar increase in ransomware attacks. One of the data points I shared was how an attack happened in 2021. There was an attack which happened once every 8 seconds. And it's insane because what we also realize is when we went through a fairly big survey of people, we also found out that less than 10% of the organizations and people we surveyed felt that their company had an effective data protection strategy in place. They had any element of data certainty. So ransomware is here and now, and we're sort of hitting critical mass on every company needing to take a step back, making sure that they have an effective ransomware strategy in place. And Veeam solutions, with a singular platform, protecting every workload. And it's not just a technology we bring to bear, but also working with our customers from a process standpoint, making sure everybody has the right air-gapped, immutable backup repositories, making sure that you have the right workflows orchestrated so that you're constantly verifying your backups and not restoring your backup for the first time into a production environment and seeing what happens then. Veeam is at the forefront of the platform of technologies, of process and people and the community we have, which helps every company get to the right strategy from a data protection standpoint. And that's one of the key things we talked about. The other thing we talked about is cloud acceleration. At this point in time, both collaboration and, compute and infrastructure, every company is on its journey to create a hybrid architecture and a hybrid strategy. The only thing which has not kept pace with the adoption of the cloud is similar advances in companies having an effective data protection strategy in place. So, as you think about your cloud strategy, making sure that you have an effective data protection strategy to boot at the same time is critical. And the third thing we've always talked about, which is, creating a modernization of your backup strategy. Most of the companies are not even able to meet their SLAs at this point in time. And Veeam is key to actually being in the forefront of helping you do that. So, been here 4 months. Came here from Ring Central, Microsoft before that, SAP and HP before that. And one of the things I tell you is, some of the experiences we've gone through in those companies is very similar to the journey at hand we have at Veeam. It's a brilliant, innovation-driven culture. We make some incredible products. There's an opportunity to actually capture significant amounts of growth looking ahead as well. So, Matthew, why don't you share your perspective on growth and the transformation for us ahead?
Yeah, thanks, Anand, and thanks, Brian. Thanks for having us here, and it's great that you could join us at the conference. Veeam's a growth company. I think that's pretty clear from the numbers we announced today. 27% growth in ARR last year and subscription growing to 78%. It's a growth company. But one of the defining features of growth companies is that they're able to keep reinventing themselves for each stage of growth. And Veeam's last year went through $1 billion of ARR, and As Veeam continues to grow, there are these vectors of growth that we want to capitalize on in order to deliver more for the company and deliver more for the customers as well. One of those vectors first to think about stems from this cloud acceleration that Anand just talked about. As customers have more workloads to protect and they're hybrid in their nature, then Veeam as a company will become increasingly more multi-product in the way that we deliver solutions to customers. So being multi-product means that customers can buy a portfolio of capabilities from Veeam, and they can protect all of the workloads, their cloud workloads as well as their on-premise workloads. Also important vector of growth for us is the idea that as companies grow rapidly, their partner base becomes less straightforward in terms of just VAR and reseller, and embraces partners that are doing more advanced things like using Veeam as a platform for their own solutions or embedding Veeam inside their own system integrator solutions. And so that's a vector of growth that our transformation will embrace as well. New partners at much higher speeds of growth. And then the third thing I'd say is Veeam's number one in terms of share worldwide and a long way ahead in Europe. In the US, we still have a lot of opportunity ahead of us, and so growth for us as a vector will be in the US and in enterprises in the US as Veeam's services and capabilities become more well known across the US market as well. So we have a lot of growth ahead of us, and hey, that's an exciting place to be. It's a great place to come and work, to be somewhere where there's innovation happening, and it's innovation that powers growth. Thanks, Brian.
And, I was just gonna say, I think Veeam is a very fun company. They have a lot of energy, and I'm glad to see you guys are fitting right in with the, everybody here is always happy and having a good time, and it shows that everybody's happy, because that's, I think, part of your success comes from that. So thanks for taking the time to speak with VMblog today.
No, pleasure's ours. Thank you.